Now, I am just stoked to be down here in Texas, y'all. I knew I grew up in Illinois, but my grandparents, my granddaddy and my grandmama, well, they both grew up in southern Illinois, and I spent a lot of time down there. So I understand what it's like to be a southern belle, y'all. I'm just so happy to be here, and I understand your struggles in life. I understand what it's like to be a deplorable... an alternative voter. Now, I don't have specific facts about this sickness that's going around. My advisor did send me an email, but for some reason I am blocked from receiving or accessing or even sending emails. It's been that way for about 4 years now. I should contact someone about that. It's just the darndest thing. I don't know why. But you know what helps in times like these? You know what helps? Hi, how are you? You know what helps? Subscribing to this YouTube channel. Y'all are at home, isolating, y'all bored? Well, you can subscribe to this channel. Since I have subscribed, my vocabulary is greatly extended, and I have the tools necessary to combat racism at every turn. Yes, I do. I just want to thank you for your time. And I'd like to end with this inspirational quote from my husband Billy from his time when he was in office. Sometimes, work can get real long and hard, and you know, when you're struggling for breath and when your mouth is full, you just gotta release your load and really swallow what life gives you. Love you, Billy.
I think they definitely do need me. I'm on my way.
Human pups are a hidden community of ordinary men who lead extraordinary double lives.
Point of personal privilege. What ordinary person does this?
Everybody loves a puppy.
But what makes these grown men covet doggy treats?
What? Good boy.
Belly rubs and squeaky toys. And why has this phenomenon risen in popularity?
If everybody loves a puppy and I'm a puppy, then everybody will love me.
It's coming out of the shadows. It isn't the seedy activity people think it is.
There are thousands of human pups all over the world, but fearing scorn and ridicule, most have kept their doggy alter egos secret.
Well, since we're all self-isolating, I, for one, am intrigued about this new concept of puppy play. I'm always on the lookout for new activities to keep me occupied and to fill out my day. But what is puppy play? Puppy play is a subset of BDSM culture that involves a person or persons taking on the primal role and mentality of a canine and exploring non-human desires and headspace via that experience. Those who belong to the puppy play community may express their interest in and or relationship with the fetish in many different ways, including donning fetish gear and the establishment of alternative kinship systems called packs, which are modelled after wild dog or wolf packs. Alpha, Beta, Omega is a new photography series by artist Zach Crevitt, currently on display in Brooklyn, that elevates and explores communities engaging in this practice, while bringing conversations about puppy play into the mainstream. I mean, who wouldn't be tempted looking at that? I think that any time you reject the status quo, that is inherently queer, Crevitt told the Huffington Post. In this case, it is a rejection of the human and an adaptation of the primal. We're not queering sexuality or gender per se. Oh God, is queering becoming a verb now? But we are queering one's humanity, and that's really an intriguing negotiation for me to dive into through the work. On a more literal note, the puppy play community is largely made up of LGBT folk. Really? I think since we are more used to alternative sexuality, we are less bound by societal norms when it comes to exploration into kink and BDSM. The Huffington Post chatted with Crevett this week to learn more about Alpha, Beta, Omega, his interest in puppy play fetish communities, and why providing space for exploring this range of desire is important for queer people.
What is actually going on?
Oh look, a rational human being. But perhaps we don't truly understand what pup play is and how exhilarating it is for all participants involved. An article in The Stranger states, Chances Sir brought him to his first puppy mosh last Valentine's Day. He initially had reservations. What if the other pups don't want to play with me because I'm trans, he worried. But he was welcomed into the group, and now he sets aside every Tuesday for hormone shots, followed by pupping and cuddling and watching Battlestar Galactica. I watch Battlestar Galactica. I was looking for something that would be fun and playful and a release, Pup Tugger said. He was a crowd favourite this year at International Mr. Leather, where he exploded assumptions about leathermen by strutting onto the stage in high femme stiletto heels, a corset and a fur wrap. It was a stunning show of bravado, but just a few years ago he struggled with debilitating anxiety. Then he met a dom who flew him out to Oklahoma for pup vacation. And Tugger discovered that his unease melted away when he was a poodle. Other pups take a more integrated approach. I use my pup parts in everyday life, said Foss, the former theology student who now identifies as a sheepdog. Calling himself a shepherd, he said, felt a little too presumptuous after all that religious instruction. These days, Foss runs training programs at a corporate day job. By night, he's often rounding up his fellow burlesque performers to put on a show. There are always sheep that need their heels nipped at, he said, looking down as Chance nuzzled his shoulder. Chance's eyes were closed and he was gently yipping.
We're trying to bring people out more and get people to come out to more events and to do more things like this in public so that we can show everybody what pet play actually is about. People always get scared by the unknown, that's just human nature. But the only way you can get over that is by going out and doing it anyway.
To be honest, I would have less of a problem with this if they were dressed up in big, furry, comical suits, like big animals, like you see in the streets sometimes handing out flyers. One of these men is dressed up as a dog, air quotes, but he's in leather. It's a BDSM, kink leather suit that he's wearing out in public. What if you've got a group of school children walk past that? It's not a case of being accepted, it's a case of upholding public decency, I don't know.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
How about if you're walking down the street with your children to the shops and you came across this? Or 3 people dressed as this? How do you explain that to a child?
What's a handler?
A handler is what we would term someone who likes to be in charge of pups.
Sit, play, fetch.
Open wide.
That kind of thing.
Handlers get their own enjoyment out of it because they're caring for us as well.
The pup community was born out of this BDSM community.
Masters would treat their slaves like dogs.
You've heard of pangender, you've heard of pansexual, but have you heard of panpup? I swear it's like all these new things are coming out every day. It's just hard to keep up.
My puppy name is Bootbrush. I've been part of the puppy scene since before it was a puppy scene. He and my partner and his partner, we were all very best friends and all go out to dinner together and do things together.
I wonder what other things they do together.
He's more than a friend as well. He's the person who has made me the dog that I am and helped me to become the dog that I am. I mean, God, there is very few pleasures in life that can be quite as good as good boy. And actually that shiver of excitement and pleasure at knowing that you've pleased somebody and you've done good.
One article dedicated to pup play states, when you accept yourself as a puppy, it evolves as a part of your personal life and can become a factor in your sexual life as well. The dominant-submissive relationship between these roles, which are not limited to a dom-sub relationship, can be both sexually appealing and satisfying. Owners have full control over biopups, ranging from the times they can satisfy their bodily functions to their emotions. The control and safety present in the relationship relinquishes the obligation of the puppy to be held responsible for his thoughts and actions and simply must obey. Though this is often confused with a boy or slave, the puppy is considered to still have his own rambunctious, playful and primitive animalistic nature that may not be present in the other forms of ownership. Though it is not essential to participate in puppy play with a sexual undertone, it is advised even in a solitary mindset to express yourself sexually. After all, your sexuality is part of you, and should be shared with your pup side. What is your purpose? Ruff!
Hates me, our kid.